So somebody told me years ago that I'd get a Black Hood comedy starring Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, and Teyonah Parris. I would be happy as hell to hear that news. So once it actually did happen, of course I had to check that out, guys. I am so happy to report that I really enjoyed They Cloned Tyrone, guys. Lots of good to offer, but hey, before we dive into the review, welcome to the channel. The name is Leo Rydell. Thank you for joining me here on Geekly Goods today. Hit that subscribe button down below if you're new, guys, and let's talk about They Cloned Tyrone, which is about a series of eerie events that thrusts in an unlikely trio into the trail of a nefarious government conspiracy. And this is starring Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, Teyonah Parris, among others in the cast. And guys, I gotta start out with this just saying that I really like this movie and the messages that it has to present in the film. I like how they really played on that theme of gentrification, and instead of just making it straight up like somebody moves in, takes over the neighborhood and makes everything more expensive, it becomes this entire government conspiracy where they're cloning people underneath the neighborhood, and we figure out they're cloning Tyrone. There's a lot involved with that character. So I really enjoy that they take gentrification and what it means to Black communities and underprivileged neighborhoods and really create it and personify it into actual scientific experiments and things like that. So I love that they took that theme of gentrification and really modernized it and really gave it some legs and reality and let you look at it as the main antagonist of the movie. I really liked where they went with that. And also other themes of community are very present here, and how the government views Black hoods. There's a lot of big messages and themes in this that I really enjoyed the way they presented it. I think that there is a lot of gentrification happening across the US where one neighborhood will be taken over by a business, and then suddenly more and more people and businesses are popping up in that neighborhood, increases the rent, and then all of a sudden the people who live there are then chased out. So I love that they are like the villains of this movie, and you have this evil scientific organization studying Blacks, doing experiments and doing this cloning with Tyrone. It's awesome. I love the lore and the sci-fi of it all, and I think it's hilarious. And listen, let's talk about the cast, because I love John Boyega and the fact that through this man's career he has displayed so much range, because he's different in Star Wars than he is in this movie, than he is in The Woman King. This man has so much range, and now we're making him a drug dealer and They Cloned Tyrone, and the man just has that hard exterior where he's the tough guy, and you know, he puts on that macho smug look throughout most of the movie, but he's got that soft interior deep down. You know, he has a neighborhood friend who's a young kid named Junebug. You know that he's got that soft interior, and it really just establishes that John Boyega has so much range. But I loved his character in Tyrone, this kind of confusion going on with his life and a conspiracy and a theory that's happening, and I'm not gonna tell you what's going on, but you'll find out. There is definitely a twist with all that. But of course, Jamie Foxx as Slick Charles. Now, y'all, I think he had a lot of fun with this. This is a role that was made for Jamie Foxx. I think that he had a ton of fun with this, and he's been having a lot of fun with these Netflix movies, so it's perfect for him. And then you got Teyonah Parris as Yo-Yo, who throughout the movie starts to yo-yo in a more positive direction and actually look at their hood, as a community. So I love these characters. I love this ragtag trio, and the way they discover the cloning is really cool. I really like it. I like the lore. I like the themes and messages and what they do with those themes and messages. I really like the three of them. I like the cast. I like the cinematography. I like that it doesn't get too over the top with the violence either. There's definitely some hood stuff going on, but it just doesn't get too over the top with that. And I love that we don't see anybody really get shot and killed that much besides the bad people. So I like that. I really like that we don't see a ton of Black on Black crime. You know, there's a little bit of it here and there, but I love to see my community coming together to face something, and I really like that in They Cloned Tyrone, how they really regard themselves as a community. Even though it can be viewed as a broken one, it is still a community. The clones look real. There's no weird or off-putting CGI, maybe a little bit of a messy makeup job in some places, but not a bad CGI mess of a movie. I really like that. I love the concept and the lore, and I love the twists in the screenplay. There are these twists and turns that the story took that I did not expect, and there's this lore established in the film where it's like they're cloning different people in the neighborhoods. So I really like the lore here that's presented. I just think it's so cool and such a unique take on like a hood movie. So I really liked it, guys. I had a lot of fun. I would say the first like maybe 20-30 minutes I know we're establishing characters, but it's a little slow. I was kind of wondering when we would get to like them figuring stuff out. And when we did, guys, it just felt like a roller coaster ride, a fun ride from beginning to end as soon as we got to that. But before, it was just a lot to establish, I think. So I think sometimes the pacing can get a little rough. But other than that, I didn't have a ton of problems. There's like a twist that happens and a certain character appears. And that character maybe doesn't look as good as I thought. I was like, okay, that makeup job don't look that great, but that's really about it. For the most part, I really had a good time with They Cloned Tyrone. I'm curious to see what other people think about this one because I had a lot of fun. I think my best thing about this movie is what they do with the themes and how they make these scientific experiments go. And of course, it kind of hints back to the Tuskegee experiments and what they were doing with black people during that time. And I really like this kind of experimentation and studying that's going on and really what it says about the broad communities of every single ethnicity. I think that this is a really cool movie and they do some really cool things with this. So guys, you gotta let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What did you think about They Cloned Tyrone if you've seen it? If not, how much are you anticipating it? If I have to give a rating to They Cloned Tyrone, y'all, I'm going with a solid 8.5 out of 10. I had a great time with this one. Besides some pacing issues, a couple pacing errors, maybe not my favorite of the year, but honestly, a really solid one that did some great, creative, interesting things with themes. So guys, I really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And hey, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button down below, y'all. We'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.